So, my name is Arianna Gomez. I am from originally Laurel, Maryland. I grew up in PG County my whole life, but now I study at Salisbury University. I am a K through 12 ESOL certification major, and that essentially boils down to just me wanting to help people learn English as a second language in all academic schooling, as well as like also trying to help teach people who are adult ESL learners. Oh, what it means to be an American. I have so many different ideas of what that means, but I think they all just boil down to where you're born. Like, if you're born in the United States, you're an American. If you marry an American, you're an American. If you naturalize yourself, you are an American. And it really comes from how you choose to identify yourself. My mother immigrated to the US when she was 17, and now that she married my father and, became a residential alien through that, she's an American citizen, just as I am, even though I was born here in the US. My father immigrated when he was 4, so he was naturalized as a US citizen. And all of these things still add up to the same solution. You're an American. I don't think it really matters where you come from, what language you speak, what you do as a person. I feel like if you hold yourself to the same values as any other American would, I think that really decides who you are and like what you are as an American. I think those values are just learning how to respect others, that having that freedom of choice, really having those liberties to make those decisions for yourself as well as for your community. A lot of people like to view Americans as too individualistic, too about themselves, and that's why, maybe we're not the best at handling the current pandemic and with other global situations, but at the same time, we do have the value of community instilled in us as children. As you grow up and you say the Pledge of Allegiance every time you go to school. It's really about learning how to not only take care of yourself but those around you, and fighting for other people's freedoms as well. I believe that there is a pessimistic side of what it means to be an American. I do feel like as though America is put like in a very extremely bad light, especially when you bring the idea of public education in mind, free health care. When you think about those kinds of things and how they had different ideas from when the Declaration of Independence was signed, the Constitution, how all of the power was given to the states because we wanted to be self-autonomous. Obviously, in the current situation, it's not necessarily about self-autonomy, but rather, protecting the greater good and protecting our greater community, especially like with COVID and how we really are trying to protect each other with wearing masks, with social distancing, and getting those vaccines done. And because of our response, or rather the state's response to these global issues, it's not very conducive to Americans in general, and how, to say that, it's a bad thing to be an American because we're not all educated on safe sex practices, or we're not all educated about world issues or the pandemic or about immigration in general. But to say the least, I think we do have the opportunity to change, and we do have the opportunity to better ourselves if possible. It just takes the right person to start that.